higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
Stephen S. Smith has never been one to hold back. But this time, he didn't just stir the pot, he flipped the whole kitchen table over. His fiery takedown of the WNBA's treatment of Caitlin Clark wasn't just typical Stephen A. fireworks, it was a clarion call. If you stand with Caitlin, drop a "CC is the GOAT" down in the comments below. Let's go. Picture this, a player so magnetic.
You were a bit hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so, you had people like Cheryl Swoops who didn't even want to mention her name.
So transformational, she's filling arenas and shattering TV ratings, before she even hits her prime. Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's the phenomenon women's basketball has been waiting for. And yet, instead of rolling out the red carpet, the WNBA practically threw down a welcome mat that said, "Meh." Fans everywhere are left scratching their heads. How can a league cry out for growth, then treat its biggest ticket like an...
Then are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark? So therefore even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're going to do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point?
Afterthought. But Stephen A. wasn't just calling out a marketing fail. He was sending up a 5-alarm warning. The WNBA is standing at the edge of a major crossroads. If they fumble Caitlin Clark's rise, they're not just missing a PR opportunity, they're risking the biggest growth moment the league has ever seen.
Everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
And when Stephen A. steps into a conversation, it's never background noise. It's an event. His latest rant didn't just roast a few decisions, it torched the leadership of the WNBA, especially Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, and aging gatekeepers like Cheryl Swoops, who are acting more like jealous.
But if you went the opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
Siblings than pioneers paving the W. Forbes 30 Under 30. SBJ Sportsperson of the Year. Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year. Time Athlete of the Year. A generational icon dragging the entire league into national headlines. And yet, from WNBA leadership, crickets. No big campaigns. No league-wide promotions. No rally cries. UST silence. And don't even get me started on how they handled her Rookie of the Year announcement. Other rookies. Lavish celebrations, primetime coverage. Team events. Caitlin Clark. She got a phone call. The biggest star in women's basketball in decades, and they made her moment feel about as special as a pharmacy robocall. Fans didn't need Stephen A. to tell them the league was dropping the ball. They were already screaming it from the rooftops. The real question: why is this happening?
They were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
Why is a league supposedly hungry for attention, acting allergic to the best thing that's ever happened to it? Stephen A.'s takedown wasn't a hot take. It was the truth. He didn't just talk about Caitlin Clark. He lit up the entire system. Because while other leagues build themselves around superstars, the WNBA somehow found a unicorn, and decided to leave her to fend for herself. Clark is smashing attendance records, pulling TV numbers most women's sports can only dream about, and yet, the league treats her like an awkward inconvenience. And speaking of weak leadership, let's talk about Cathy Engelbert.
Elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about, opining about, acknowledging.
When she finally got national airtime on 60 Minutes and CNBC's Power Lunch, fans were hoping for passion, urgency, leadership. Instead, they got the verbal equivalent of a shrug. When asked about Caitlin Clark's impact, Engelbert delivered one of the most deflating answers imaginable: no league is about one player. Translation: we're scared of
some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops herself.
Success if it doesn't come the way we want it. Imagine if the NBA said that about Jordan. Good luck with that. And it's not just marketing. It's about player safety too. Caitlin Clark isn't asking for special treatment. She's asking for a fair shot at doing her job, without getting battered every night. But the officiating, it's a disaster. Cheap shots, dangerous fouls, inconsistent calls. One of the most viral moments of the season, Clark tapping the ring post, and getting hit with a technical foul. Would Diana Taurasi have gotten that same tech? Not a chance.
I said Caitlin Clark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to us.
I notice when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone.
You know basketball. You know basketball. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another. It's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players, much more so than they were 5 years ago.
And Caitlin Clark gets hit with a technical. After
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard. And he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
The one thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're humans.
Nobody wants to believe that this league could actually be that dense. Professional league, guys. We're not talking about a rec league. We're not talking about even the high school team. Nobody believes that anybody is that clueless.
Such an incredible moment on a global scale for our game, for our players.
It's like the fans are absolutely incredible. It's the same when we go on the road. Like there's so many people that are showing up in fever gear. It's really affecting, teams all across our league, which is a really great thing. And, really, I think we're just scratching the surface, bringing more and more fans to this league, people that have maybe never watched the WNBA before. And it kind of takes your breath away at points.
This isn't just sloppy refereeing. It's sending a message, and it's the wrong one. Meanwhile, the league's leadership keeps dodging responsibility with buzzwords about rivalries and storytelling. But fans aren't tuning in for hashtags. They're tuning in for elite basketball. The WNBA isn't just fumbling a star, they're fumbling their future. Caitlin Clark handed them a master key. The question is, do they even know how to use it? Fans see the choice. Analysts see the choice. Thanks to Stephen A. ripping off the Band-Aid, now everyone sees the choice. So what's it gonna be, Cathy? The clock's ticking. If you stand with Caitlin, drop CC is the GOAT down in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a thing. Click the video on your screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.